more the line. But on the YouTube world, Barbecue Becky. Have you seen this case?
No. Barbecue Becky.
Barbecue Becky.
This sounds like fun.
Oh, this is so much fun. You've probably seen it as a meme. You've probably seen it.
Oh, the chick that, yes. This is the most hilarious shit. It is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, good morning.
Afternoon.
Yeah, it is the afternoon.
Afternoon.
We decided to take a late day today.
A little bit late.
A little bit late day to get a few things done. We are. Oh, that sounds a little bit better. We come up a little higher.
I'll keep it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is better.
It does sound much better.
Oh my God, you're
Oh.
a genius.
Genius. Oh, speaking of genius.
Jizza.
Yeah.
The Jizza.
Jizza. GZA. So, good morning.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I know, we just went through that.
Yeah, we did. We just rewound. No, Two Bros Podcast, episode 31 in a goddamn building. And guess what, folks? We are outside.
Outside.
It is beautiful out today. What a beautiful day. The rain has kind of gone away a little bit. It's still a little cloudy, a little muggy, humid.
Yeah.
Seems like we've gotten a little bit of every kind of mixture there was possible.
It just has not been consistent at all. Like you have like a couple
Cheers.
days last year. I mean, a couple days last week. It was like in the 80s.
Yeah.
And stuff, and then dropped down to like 55 and 60 and rainy and
Yeah.
shit. So it's kind of like we got like everything.
Yeah, we got everything. I swear we got everything. And it was a little pissy off because you don't know how to dress. You don't know what to wear.
Yeah, exactly.
You got
do
a
you
coat.
wear your sports jacket? Can you wear your suit? Can you wear? I don't like umbrellas. I really think umbrellas in Manhattan should be banned
Yeah,
because they are just in the fucking
in the way.
way.
Well, there's an etiquette, right? And there's an etiquette that most people don't have. It's kind of like the same thing of when you ride the train and they go up the escalator and the left lane is supposed to be
the left lane open for the people who want to walk up the thing, right?
And the right lane is for people that just want to no, I'm cool.
Right.
I'm letting the fucking thing ride and do its job.
Right.
Well, people don't know that. I guess it's not published anywhere. So how would you know?
No.
I mean,
No.
But what happened to the hi, ma'am? Excuse me. Like I've stood behind people and they go. I want to get around, and they look at other people to say like, "Aren't you gonna say something?"
Yeah.
Like, why don't you tell them that this is the fast lane?
Their shit's in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So excuse me still works, but people just don't use it.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Yeah.
Like you gotta like submit to like a person's, an assumption that person's good nature will meet your kindness. So excuse me, would you mind stepping over so that people can get past and
right, because it's really just I didn't know. I mean, if you look at anyone
for the
else,
most part,
they're
right?
just oblivious to your needs, right? Like they don't know what you need out of this deal. So you're trying to negotiate get to work early, faster, and all this other stuff, and you're like hoping they kind of patronize you a little bit.
Right.
But man, a lot has gone on. We took last week Mother's Day. Right? Was
Celebrated
last week?
some moms. Yeah,
last week was Mom's Day, so we kind of took a little break. Did some motherly, cooly things. What'd you do?
Well, what did we do? Barbecued.
Yeah.
Barbecued a couple times. And just a lot of involves a lot of like coordination. So you gotta get this person from there and that, and just moving this person around, and they want to have dinner at this time, and there's other people coming. So it became one of those things where like, well, once we start, we don't know how long we're gonna be there. Plus, me and my wife went and visited our doctor. I guess our doctor.
Your doctor
at the hospital.
Yes. How was that?
Check out the hospital. It was nice.
Okay.
It was nice. It was ironically very, very calm there. There were no babies being delivered then, and so everybody was just like sitting around. Everybody in the maternity ward and stuff.
Like you two?
Yeah.
You guys waiting for the same?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I mean everybody just waiting around. Everybody was saying like, shh, don't. Like, say nothing.
What?
Don't.
It's not like a cake in the oven.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not like a baby.
It's like, man, it's like, man, you guys, there's no babies delivered. Like, I got 2 more hours.
I don't want to jinx it.
I got 2 more hours on the shift.
But that's pretty fun though. Like, I mean, I miss that. I don't miss it that much. It's been quite a bit, some time, but it's a cool thing, man. Glad you guys are really going through the experience and getting all of the things that come along with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. The doctor's cool.
Yeah,
he's
I guess that's a cool thing.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's down to earth, and the hospital knows him and they like him and stuff like that. So, I mean, the only thing to do now is just have the baby.
Yeah,
it's just we got to wait.
But I mean, you got to kind of commit to this guy because he's gonna kind of go up the tunnel and
exactly. It's kind of like you got to make him happy, whatever he wants. Like if he said, "Hey, can you bring me a pimento loaf sandwich when you come?" I guess the answer is going to be, "Well, I guess fucking yeah." I guess.
It's pretty awkward though because if you do say no, it's like no. Oh, really?
All right.
You want this motherfucker's arm? Which one? You want his arm? Exactly. Left arm longer than the right arm? Because I'll snatch him from this way. When my son was born, which was obviously my first childbirth experience, when the doctor pulled his head out, the head just kept coming. Like
Alien?
Yes. It was super long. And I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have an egghead kid. Like that very moment, I said I gotta have an egghead.
You start putting rolls on it.
Yeah, they're gonna tease this guy. He's gonna have a long fucking head. He's gonna have either long. Where'd he get that from? I'm like, where'd this come from? God damn it! And it just seemed like it just was like, hey.
There's other parts to him too, There's,
and then I saw the eyebrows, like it was like reverse, obviously, and he's coming out. And I was like, holy shit, that's his forehead? Whoa. But it's all soft tissue and it's stretching. It's jelly. So it kind of like...
It's all cartilage, right.
It just kind of like glued itself back together and went right in the right portion. So, very interesting. But thanks for bringing the beers. That was a good call because...
That was your call.
Well, I wanted some beers. It's nice outside and, So Mother's Day for me here was we had the wife, the mom, her mom and grandma and auntie here, and I cooked. I kicked some ass on the grill. Do some I did a nice fucking salmon. I marinated in a lemon teriyaki kind of. Kinkelman's one of those you just buy them, low sodium, and then had some grilled shrimp. Crab legs. Now, none of my wife can eat seafood. My wife can't eat it.
I was about to say, your wife, she doesn't
eat any seafood. But I made it for her mom, and her uncle was in town, the one from L.A.
Okay.
So I stayed with him when I was out in L.A. So I said, hey, and he stays here when he comes. So we got a whole separate room for him there. So he kind of hangs out here. Yeah. And I meant to tell you, bring some rolling papers because he brought me some weed.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Oh, maybe I can take one of those cigars apart.
Maybe we can take this one apart.
Yeah. I won't do it now, but...
Take this one apart.
Yeah. Cooked, and then of course they brought stuff too. Mom brought some chicken, she brought more crab legs, and we just had a good time.
Nice.
Yeah, we had a good time. Just cooked. Now she told my wife, said, "Oh, you're gonna be outside. You're gonna have allergies." I was like, "No, I don't. I'm fine." And now I feel.
Now you're sniffing it.
Yeah, I feel a little pollen.
Well, everything's late now because it's. All of this should have been like a month ago.
Yeah, April showers bring May flowers.
This should have been a month ago.
Not May showers bring June.
June humidity.
June humidity. So in the world of sports, you following still anything with NBA?
Did the Cavs win last night?
Cavs won last night.
Okay, so this is pretty much an even series now.
Well, Boston's still up 2-1, so it's still a thing. They still have to prove themselves. They got a lot of work to do, but he kind of just flipped the switch and kind of said, "Okay, guys, enough with the bullshit." Like I kind of, I was playing around with you guys, and now I turned it on. But the key factor was everyone else, like J.R. Smith and
those are the dudes that have to be.
Right.
I mean,
LeBron is LeBron.
Exactly. Right. LeBron's going to be LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think that when this is all said and done, I don't see how you can deny LeBron his greatness. And when I say greatness, I'm talking about that this is probably 2 or 3 on the list of who is the greatest player in the game, because there is nobody on his squads that you would choose to be on your team, except for his days in Miami. Yes, when he had Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Okay, those dudes, yes, because
Well,
he had all-stars on the squad.
He had all
but
the
now,
all-stars and stuff.
there's nobody. You wouldn't start a team with J.R. Smith. You wouldn't start a J.R.
No.
team with Kyle Korver.
No.
Tristan Thompson needs to make up his fucking mind whether he's going to be a horse or a freaking bitch-ass ball player. And just, make up your mind,
Yeah,
dude.
true.
You're right. You take turns in what you're going to do.
Yeah, well, you never know which Tristan Thompson shows up.
Right.
I mean, that's the rest of the guys. Like J.R. Smith is Mr. No, 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 yeah. We say that all the time.
Right.
He's super no, no, no. Yeah, he made the shot.
Right,
Fuck, give him a cookie. But
like Kyle Korver, you see what those first two shots do. If they go down, okay, well, Kyle Korver's going to be on.
He's in a rhythm today. Yeah. Somebody gave him his Wheaties today.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, it's super exciting. I can say that I've said it on a couple of episodes back. It's been super exciting. It's been super fun.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what everyone wanted, right? Everyone just wants games. They just want to see it at its finest. They want to see it have fun. They want people to.
Now, do the Houston Rockets look overmatched?
No. So this is when you say it's an even series. It's even keel because Houston Rockets look like they could do it. Mm-hmm. Same rule applies. Which one shows up? It depends on which team shows up.
Right.
I think we've seen it with Westbrook that the one man show doesn't work. Where you try to do all the stuff yourself and not rely. So I think the better team will win this.
Usually happens.
And that's Golden State. I mean, Golden State has just got a plethora of weapons. They got so many little buttons you could push. It's like, what happens if we push this button? And
right.
It's like, ooh, turbo thruster. See, and now I went into the ground.
Did you sink? Because you went off the thing.
I went. I should have put the mat where I wanted, but I was putting more pressure on one side than I was the other. Oh, good.
Yeah, but they are they're the team to beat. I mean, for sure. I already lost my bet where I had Toronto and
Did
Houston.
you?
Yeah, I had Toronto and Houston in the finals.
Okay, all right.
For a considerable amount of change. I lost.
Well, betting's now legal now. Betting,
yes.
It's legal across the board.
It's illegal across the board. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. What the biggest effect of this is? Can you imagine what the biggest effect of it is? No one's even thinking of it like this way, but I'll tell you what it is as soon as I'm asking you to guess. But
What? Oh, I don't know.
DraftKings.
Well, okay, yeah.
The fantasy ball, okay, I did a play on one of these things, tried it out, won $18.
Okay.
And said, you can't collect it, you're in New York City. So you could spin it back. I could play it back, I could keep playing, but as long as I live in New York City, I can never take it out.
Right.
Which is a fucking crock of shit,
Right.
I think the digital the online part of this.
Well, yeah.
Because you can play legally, because the internet of things, right? It doesn't have any jurisdiction, it doesn't have a place. But when you collect it, when you're home and you want to cash out, that's where they get you.
Well, they're going to get you, and also the immediacy that you can have in placing a bet.
Yeah.
Where you could just decide now you want to place a bet. You can go on your phone, you can place your bet, and then
the apps are going to kill this. The apps are going to have a free for all, nice frenzy. It's going to be good for. I'm not a gambler because I don't like losing. I mean, I'd rather spend my money at the bar.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd rather spend $50, $60, $70 at the bar.
I mean, I got an extra $200. Well, I'll just do it here. I'll buy drinks.
Yeah. Next round's on me. Fuck.
It will not, however. Some people have said this, and I totally disagree. It will not put the bookie out of business, though. Some people are saying that it'll put the bookie out of business, and there's no way that'll happen because number one, the bookie gives credit.
Yeah.
The bookie will give you credit, and number two, the bookie is.
I mean, that's the thing.
He's immediate. He's there.
Right. He's your line. He's your line of, he's the line to the cash. I mean, there's. So do you think they're gonna run concurrent? I'm assuming, right? That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have.
Yeah. I mean, you're not. The bookie is still gonna make the bakers make his money. Because the bookie will say, okay, listen, you want this on this line for $500. Don't worry about it. I got you, and that's it. You don't have to come up with any money. Now, of course,
you ask bet he's going to collect.
Your money you gotta get your money right. So
well, yeah, I guess it's true because I mean,
bookie don't want a debit card.
Like numbers haven't gone away. Like the illegal numbering system, the bolitas and the big reds and all that stuff, the stuff Mom used to do and all that.
Right.
That hasn't. We just not in that world. You know what I'm saying? But that has not fallen by the wayside one bit.
No.
So I it's curious. I guess it's just the other guys get to say, hey, we're in on the action now, and we get to collect.
Absolutely.
And you pay taxes on it, and it's all part of the lottery system. I will tell you that I've told you the story of my buddy, we went to Resort World.
No.
So we go to Resort World. Won't say his name. You know who you are. He's actually a subscriber to this channel.
Oh.
So we go to Resort World here in Queens. Mm-hmm. We play. He play. I don't play. I go and we have kind of this tradition where afterwards we go to the White Castle on.
There's a White Castle?
Well, Rockaway is.
The Rock. Okay. All
by
right.
John Bound, like John Jay,
right,
John Bound, whatever
okay.
that is. So that was always our thing. We would always go there, have some drinks, play around, ding, 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 ding. Well, he fucking won. He won nice chunk of change.
Nice chunk of change.
Goes to the window, goes to cash out, and they say, "Here's the 63 cents as your change." And the guy said, "Wait, no, it's $1,500 I won." And they said, "Yeah, but your child support came out."
Oh!
Child support came out in arrears. Dude, it came out. So this is the snatch. This is the grab. You know, because it's all registered. So if you're in arrears, that comes off first. If you have alimony payments, you have any type of state or
anything has to do with the state.
Yeah.
And the only thing they won't do is if you got like student loans. Student loans you can
student loans
keep
they can't
for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you just have a bill. That's just a.
But the child support, alimony,
any
like
judgments,
a judgment against you or some shit like
you
that.
had a small business back in the days and you fucked it up and your
that
loans
comes up.
that shit comes out. That shit comes out.
Especially if you want the state to be your bookie. If you want the state to be your bookie, which is what you do when you go to, like OTB or when you do some of the gambling, some of the places that you go gambling. Okay, the state is now your bookie.
Right, so it's no different than doesn't you owe my cousin Vinny $100? I'm gonna take that off to this, and then you give you your change.
Right.
That's what would happen. That's essentially what's happening now. So
63 cents.
63 cents, man, and it was like, okay. Tell Ashton Kutcher he can come out now. I know you got me. You got me. It's funny. My mouth was open. It was really funny. So, yeah, man. So, I mean, other than that, I hope everyone was good to their moms or wives. A lot of people go, well, you're not my mother. Why should I get you a gift? It's you're kind of praising them for being a good mom. I mean, listen, don't get me wrong. It's a Hallmark holiday, right?
It's a created holiday.
Right. They created
it.
Hallmark holiday just like, National Siblings Day, Donut Day. They're no different.
Right. There's no different than anything
There's no
else.
different than that. And I really think that the capitalist part of it really takes away from the genuineness of it. But no doubt, it's still a day that, okay, you could do it. But if you want to do it publicly just because you said you did it and you want to be the biggest show in town, then you're really fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. If that has to, like, if you've been an asshole for 364 days, but on Mother's Day,
I brought you flowers.
You're going to bring flowers and everything and whatnot, then that's...
I brought you flowers, baby.
Judgment on your character. But hey, we got tons of judgments on
characters.
Tons
of judgment on characters. So,
tons of judgment on characters.
Yeah, a lot of things have happened in between, and I said that I would have a prepared list, and I'm totally fucked up.
I thought I would too, but we've had some weird shit just going on.
Yeah,
got some dude who got turned down by a chick, so he decides to go into his school and shoot a few people, and
it's all too often that we're having this conversation about school shootings or mass shootings. It actually usually happens after we record, and tomorrow something crazy happens. This one happened
a few days ago.
On Friday, I think it was, right? And
Thursday.
Friday.
No,
Friday. It was Friday.
It was Friday.
Yeah, because I watched. Okay, so in memorandum of that, I watched Higher Learning. Remember that?
Okay, yeah.
Ice Cube, Omar Epps.
Michael
Rappaport.
Mike Rappaport. Tyra Banks.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes. It was quite characterful.
Tyra Banks. I said Tyra Banks.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Tyra Banks. Yeah, she looks weird. She's like an alien. In that movie, she looks like an alien.
That's a big forehead.
Yes.
That's ass space.
Yes, but she's got like these starry eyes and this when she got shot and she was like why me? And then he's just doing the shake. And then Lawrence Fishburne. Malik, get yourself together. Calls the cops. Go get some help. And he was sitting there. But when you watch it, it's kind of a microcosmic of whoever directed that. I don't know who that was.
That was Singleton.
Singleton?
I think Singleton.
Great movie. Yeah. Great movie. Kudos to him because he kind of really spoke about how it happens, not the why it happens.
Right.
Because he showed how, this, one guy, everybody was kind of like in their own, like, yo, I just want to do the right thing. Everyone set out. There was no one there that had the full intention of like going to school being a badass.
Right.
They all became something because of the environment. The environment kind of twisted, like the girl who got raped. So he showed a shitload of things that are common right now.
Yeah.
That movie's 20 years old. Maybe 15, 20 years old. I mean, I don't know what year it came out.
He showed what happens when the search for an identity goes unchecked.
Yes.
And so when you're unwilling to balance, there's always a balance between order and chaos. And so, we tend to think that like all this freedom and stuff like that leads to a certain amount of pleasure and everything like that. But some order has to come to it. Unless you have that order, nothing positive is going to come out of that. And I think that was an exemplification of that.
Oh, man, I think he did an awesome job in just kind of, spelling it out in detail. Using one person as a single source, as a single identifier of it. But the kid Remy that Michael Rappaport played was totally like, kid from Iowa. He was like, yo, dude, I just want to study. You guys are playing your rap music. I get it, but I got school in the morning. I need to study. And they were so oppressed that they were like, yo, fuck you, man. I'll go in your room and shut the fuck up. I'll stop playing when I say I'll stop playing it.
Right.
Because they somehow applied that he had a privilege that, now they were in, because they could flex a little bit.
Right.
That they could now push it on him because he was weak.
Right.
And then his rebuttal was that I'm not weak. I'll show you. And it seems to be the MO for a lot of these clowns that really go out there.
Yeah, I know. It's just. I mean, I think both of them were students, right? Were they?
I don't know the whole story. Like I'm so uncaught up of. What do you mean both of them? What do you?
There were two. There were two.
Two shootings since we talked about it last.
Two. No, I'm talking about Friday.
There were two kids, or there were two different shootings?
No, two kids.
Okay. Oh,
two kids.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Two kids. One.
Oh, I didn't know this.
One was there were two kids, and two were considered suspects. I think they caught one like on the scene, and I think it took them a while to get the other one.
Okay.
But apparently this dude was like, he was dismissed by this one girl, and so he came into her class and he defeats the whole automatic weapon thing because he didn't have an automatic weapon. He had a shotgun.
Right, he had a simple gun.
Yes, no different than a handgun. No different
he
than
had
a pistol.
A freaking
which is a question which is the question I always ask all the time. I said, well, would you feel better if he had a handgun and did all these things?
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't. It doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, coach crazy is the key to most of these things. Like trying to. I don't know if politicians are just that unrealistic or they just don't realize it or lobbyists or whatever you call them, but is that if they didn't figure out that the criminals kind of ignored the rule book a long time ago, like they don't follow, let me not do a crime.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't rob this bank. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me leave now because there's a rule here you can't rob the bank.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had this idea.
Exactly. So, I'm sorry. Is that the law? Shit.
I fucked up.
I'll go back and I'll restructure this.
Let me just think about this again.
Which comes to mind, this documentary I saw.
Oh my God! You saw Evil Genius?
Yes.
Oh my God. Oh.
Every 20 minutes.
Holy shit.
Every 20 minutes I was going, oh my God.
It opened up.
Opened up more shit.
It just unpacked a bunch of shit. And I was going to bring it up. I was waiting for the right time to segue. Evil Genius, if you guys have not seen it, Netflix has outdone themselves again. By the way, this was turned into a movie back in 2010.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Nobody remembers this, but this was turned into a movie, and because they made fun of it, they made light of it.
Okay.
With Danny McBride, Aziz Ansari, and the kid who plays in Now You See Me, Now You Don't. And it was called 30 Minutes or Less. So all of you movie fans, I'm a movie fan. I just don't always get it all the time. The gist of the movie, and the guy who played Remo Williams was the Marine. He was his father.
Okay.
And he was trying to kill him. So in order to kill him, he had to go rob a bank to get the money to pay the guy to do this. And they kind of flipped it. And they strapped the bomb on the pizza guy. And he says, yo, dude, I don't give a fuck what you got to do. And it was two monkeys, hence the two black guys that he said grabbed them. They were dressed in monkey suits. And they told the guy, go rob a bank. I don't give a fuck what you do. Go do what you got to do, but get me my money, you know. So this was done. This was done in movies. The documentary took longer to come out than the story did. Now, I do remember the story. I didn't know it was that fucking sick.
I didn't know it was that deep.
I just heard Pizza Bomber and whatever else. And when they showed him pop, I was like, whoa, shit.
And, yeah, the only thing I remember about that happening
I just remember
the question of, was this dude compliant in this act? Because they just said it just didn't make sense. Like, why would you... You know, you're calmly walking into a place and
cane gun,
and you got and you know you're sitting there. I mean, you got this bomb attached to you, and you're saying, "Hey, this bomb's gonna go off and stuff." And
I'm not lying.
Yeah, I'm not lying. So it begs the question. Well, wait a minute. I mean, maybe that's unfair, but it's like, dude, if you think a bomb is attached to you and it's gonna go off. Then why aren't you like? Where's the desperation? You know, where's the
panic?
Where's the
panic? Where's the? I think. Well, I mean, I watched it. You watched all 6? You watched the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm glad you did. Thank you. I think that the way they said it was true, and you know, I think it was exactly the way they said it happened. But when you talk about him, the Brian Wells, I do think he was a part of it only because he complied with the first request. What did he say? These black guys came and did it, and they told him to say that.
Yes.
And he carried the cane gun. Like, he had 2 things that showed compliance.
Yes.
He had 2 things that showed compliance with it. Because he could have left the cane gun in the car and was like, these guys are going to kill me.
Yeah.
Help me, you know.
I think he knew what they were planning to do. I think it's unfair to say that he knew his role. What was happening.
No, when they clicked that shit on him, it got real. Shit got real. Like shit got real when they was like, I don't want to do this. Like, yo, no.
Right.
Like, come on, they probably told them that day. Like, yo, dude, it'll be easy, it'll be simple. Don't worry about it. We got you. Don't worry.
But the only thing that conflicts is because there was apparently, and forgive us if those who are not watching it, I mean, you know,
spoiler alert.
But there were eyewitness testimony that said that he was at the house the day before, but the dude's girlfriend or the hooker that he's messing around with says that she doesn't believe he was there because he was messing with her all afternoon,
she was with him all day.
and then he eventually went to work.
He had to be at work at 4.
So,
she was with him up until 2.
Right.
So he couldn't have been there.
So she doesn't believe he could have been there. Not she doesn't say he wasn't there, but she says she doesn't think so because time-wise it doesn't match out.
And then the brother, someone else said if he was there, he delivered a pizza. And I don't know what the fuck it is with this town with pizzas because they fucking like every day it was like a pizza.
Well, and they had the second dude.
Yeah.
Who like
Panetti.
Who was just a backup or something, like just in case this other dude is like really a stud.
Dude, I was so freaked out by this documentary that I couldn't sleep until I finished it. Like I had to watch every episode of it. It was a nail biter. It was definitely a butt clincher. It was one of those like, holy. What?
And I really like this the
guy who put it together,
the producer.
Yeah,
because he everything gets settled, and then he would say, well, wait a minute. If that's the case, then why is this thing happening? So he asked a few more questions, and he asked a few more questions and got a more outlandish scenario.
I mean, dude had a body in the freezer. This, first of all, and again, we're gonna spoil this for you because it's on Netflix. It's out. It's not like it's coming out or whatever else. The Phil Rothstein guy, was probably just as magnificent as Marjorie.
Yes.
I mean, this guy was literally with the FBI. Like, okay, you got my notes.
Yes.
Okay, I had to. You see, I used razor blade here. Meat grinder was gonna get it. Didn't get it. Was gonna get one, but this and that. You saw that? Okay, great. And he's and they're like romanticized with him. They're like, oh my God, you really? Yeah. We put this, and he didn't fit, so I folded his leg and put him down here. Like this would have been a. Get on the ground now.
Exactly.
They were like, huh? How'd you do it?
You're mesmerized with this dude.
Yeah, they were mesmerized. They were mesmerized.
It's amazing when you have people who have the capacity to do such horrible shit that is no, there is no, like that is no different. Like if you did not know what he was doing, you would think that there was no difference between him and him organizing the people that work for him in his business, saying, "Hey, this is what we need to do." I mean, it's almost the same type of mentality.
Listen, I cannot tell you how fulfilled I was watching that. Like
it was
a great piece of work. Shout out to the director Trey something.
I can't remember his name.
Trey Mutlani, whatever. But look it up. It's called Evil Genius. It's on Netflix. Broken down in 6 episodes.
I really suggest if you watch it, you have to watch the whole.
Yes.
Watch all the episodes one after the other. They're about like 40 minutes each.
Yeah.
It's about 40 minutes each episode.
It's a good 3
and I'm not a big and I'm
hour
not,
watch.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of like chopping things up in the episodes and stuff like that. But it's a if you're gonna binge something, do that.
This one is apropos. This one is par for the course. To watch this in the segments because you could stop and go, hold on, I need to go.
Right,
I need to go do something. I gotta put these clothes in the laundry.
Right,
I'll be right
that's
back.
exactly what I did. Oh shit! I got shit in the
shit.
oven. Okay, hold on.
I watched the whole fucking thing like this. I was like. I watched it in awe and with jaw dropping.
Dude, the last 2 episodes I watched it standing up. I was standing up watching in front of the TV. I had my hands like this.
What a fantastic! I was going, what the fuck is? It was fantastic. It was nothing more than stellar, and that was very well shot. I'm sad it took the guy 10 years to do. Like it had to play itself out. I mean, and then to hear the outcome of it, but yet the guy's unsolved murder really well. Now I heard about it when it was Geraldo Rivera, and and I heard it through the Geraldo Rivera side where he said he was screaming at the FBI talking about you guys dropped the ball on this because this is in a podunk town and you sent the B team in. Like that was Geraldo Rivera was like the FBI, you got to be kidding me. Just because it's Erie, Pennsylvania, you guys sent the wrong team in. You should, if it was anywhere high profile, you would have sent in some crazy guys. I mean, everybody just. I love Ken Barnes's testimony at the end. He says, "Well, I'm happy I'm in prison now. The only thing I miss is the crack whores and the booze."
That's one of those. That's one of those dudes. Like, look, you ask him a question, you're gonna get your answer.
He was like, "Hey,
he's got nothing to. He's got nothing to hide. He's got nothing. He said, "I'm glad I'm off drugs. The only thing I miss is the
crack horse.
Is the horse."
But that speaks to a wide range of middle America, and this is all the, which most people would say are the Trump supporters, are the people that that Trump. These are all the people that would have voted for Trump.
Well, that's unfair.
It is unfair. It is unfair. Yeah,
because
you're right.
If you look statistically, I think it's like 30% of people who voted for Obama ended up voting for Trump.
Yeah.
So then it begs the question, okay, well, if that's the same person, how are you? I mean, how is that person a genius and had this sense of society and progression one election, and then the next one they're just back to their old knuckle scraping self on the ground?
Well, I think it, and you're right about that. But I think it speaks to that these people, this group, wants change. And the appetite for the change is changing too fast, just like everything else we say in society. We're moving at a speed of, well, we tried this Obama thing, that didn't work, new guy in town. All right, let's see what he has to say.
But are we changing to the point where we are actually leaving people behind? And the people that we are leaving behind are saying, hey, wait a minute, what about, what about me? I thought this guy was going to help. Okay, well, let's go back to this other dude. I mean, maybe... I really think the fascination with Trump has nothing to do with him as a policy guy or a politician. I think they just simply like the fact that somebody says whatever the fuck he wants to say and really doesn't give a shit what you're... Because his response to everything is like pretty much, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? If
his response is pretty nana boo-boo.
Like, pretty much.
It's pretty much.
Like, yeah, okay, yeah. But I'm president. Whatever. So. Yeah, no, that's wrong. Well, we haven't... Yeah, well, that's wrong.
Yeah.
And you either go on with it or
fake news. You're done.
Right, exactly. Anything he doesn't like,
you're fired.
It's fake.
You're fired.
It's
nah,
fake.
He will fire you pretty quickly. I don't know what's up with this thing with with his wife having his liver surgery and all this crazy stuff.
Liver surgery.
Yeah, she was like in the hospital like on some crazy.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, she went and had some crazy surgery that was like, huh? Wait a minute, she's getting a liver transplant, like some really crazy shit.
Really?
Like, yes.
His current wife.
Yes, Melania Trump went to the hospital, was rushed to the hospital for some super high-end operation. Not a fucking, not a get a cyst removed, not a in-office thing.
Wow.
like some major organs. So,
Damn.
for all the conspiracy guys that say she's
I
a
hope
clone and what
she's
other
okay or
shit.
whatever. But
No,
you know,
she's home. She's back at the White House.
You know who's going to be by her side? Bill Clinton. Have you ever seen?
What?
Have you ever check out anytime? You could probably YouTube this. You could see.
Oh,
it.
I love to see this.
Anytime Bill Clinton and Melania Trump is in the same room, Bill Clinton is salivating.
Oh.
He is. That's a goddamn wolf.
That's a nice chunk of ass.
That's pretty much what he's saying. There's one thing I think during the, I think was it during the inauguration or whatever.
He's a bad guy.
You just see him there, and Hillary Clinton is standing right next to him, and Melania is talking, and you see Bill Clinton just going, just looking at her, and then
he's got the LL Cool J lips.
He's like, oh my God. He says that I can get that. He's a fucking wolfhound.
Yeah,
man.
he is a wolfhound. Like if you watch a couple of Clinton documentaries, I mean, this motherfucker. These guys are badass.
The one when he was the governor, when he was the governor of Arkansas, yeah. and the guy who was doing,
they beat him up at the railroad tracks and bashed his head in and shit like that. Yeah.
Yes,
sick.
There's some shit that he is like, sort of like. You don't want to say he caused it, but you know these trails kind of lead to this office. Like the guy, the guy who was the drug mule, or not the drug mule, but the guy who was buying drugs for. I
don't remember the story, but it was pretty fucking badass.
There's a documentary about it.
Yeah,
There's a documentary about it.
It's called Evil Clinton or whatever, something. Or Kill Bill or something. I don't know.
That's another one. All these motherfuckers are just like on certain levels of corruption. But there used to be a time where that wasn't the case. It used to be the time where the people who ran office, even the office of the presidency, they had regular jobs. They were regular people.
Yes.
And for a certain period of time, they would do a legislative duty, and then when they were done,
Civil
they
service.
go back to their whatever job. They're they own a construction company. They have a dental practice or whatever. And they went back to their old shit.
Yeah, well, that's how it was in the NBA. I remember the guys talking about, after the season was over, I worked at the Holiday Inn and was a bellman, and it was like, what?
Right, that's before you got money in the thing that you were doing.
Yeah, but those are some crazy things. But we're just in a weird place where I think we're just overconsumed. We're just consuming a lot of product, a lot of data, a lot of media. Yeah, we're consuming a lot of media in a small amount, packed in. TV used to go off, right? Midnight or last show, dun dun dun, na na na, an American flag would wave, and you'd go to bed.
Wave, that was it. We're done with this.
Now we're 1,000 channels and nothing to watch,
which is the theme of I don't know if you. I was very excited about this. HBO did Fahrenheit 451.
I watched
Ray Bradbury's.
I watched it last night.
You watched it last night
and finished it this morning.
I am pissed because that was a fuck up.
They
fucked.
They clearly said it was a rendition.
Up.
A rendition of it, I saw where they went with it. They spun it off. It was not done appropriately. 1966 was the original Fahrenheit 451 movie that came out.
The first movie, right?
Which was part of the book, which was kind of played it to the letter.
The book was written in 53, I think, something like that. And the idea behind it was this inundation of media, which at the time was television. Was sort of, you good?
Yeah.
The inundation of media, which at the time was television,
right,
is robbing us of certain things, and people thought that was taken out of control. So what they would do is they were going to control it. They were going to control the message that you got sent, and so which is and they updated a little bit. And I understand that if you're going to do it as a modern day thing, you got to update it a little bit in certain things. But I think that they
missed the boat.
They missed the boat tremendously. I love Michael Shannon. Yeah, Michael Shannon is fantastic.
Douchebag.
I don't think he can do any wrong as far as an actor. He's great.
Played General Zod.
He played General Zod. What was that movie he did when he had a son that had these freakish powers? I can't remember the name of it, but he was trying to keep him away. Like they were trying to get him. People were trying to find him, and him and this other guy. Now I can't remember this movie, but it was a pretty good movie. I always catch bits and pieces of it.
But he wasn't the father in the other one with Michael B. Jordan. When Michael B. Jordan had the powers, when they found the powers, and he was the kid's father. No, he was beating the shit out of him.
No, he wasn't the father. No, Michael Shannon was the father.
Michael Shannon, I could be wrong, that Michael Shannon was the father of the one kid who called himself the apex predator in this whole thing. When he found his powers, they went down in a cave and they got powers. Michael B. Jordan moved the car and did all this shit. And you remember that?
No.
It was called not Project X or something.
Michael B. Jordan went in that movie.
He wasn't?
No.
Yes, he was. He was the only black guy. He was the black guy. He was the black guy that. You know which one I'm talking about?
No, I know which one you're talking
Yeah.
about. Like the movie starts with them, like he's on the run. Him and either a friend or his brother is on the run with his son, and his son has these special powers. He has to keep these glasses on and shit. And
That's different.
okay,
that's
so we were
different.
talking about
We're
something
about
totally
two
different.
different
Okay.
ones. I'm talking about the one with where they went in the cave and they touched some fucking alien rock and they got powers. And the one kid was pretty weird. That he like went nuts with it. He like abused it and like fucking struck people down with lightning and did crazy stuff. Yeah, it was really good though. But yeah, Mike Shannon is pretty dope. I mean, I liked him as General Zod. I liked him in there was a movie with shit, I forget this kid's name. The Messenger, the guy played a bike messenger. And he was the cop trying to catch him, you know.
Don't know that one.
Yeah, but anyway.
But he was good in the he was in the series Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
When he was the FBI agent, the suppressed FBI agent.
Yeah.
We come to find out this dude was beating himself every night. Like
Never watched.
get those. Oh, you never seen it? You never seen Boardwalk Empire?
Nope.
Oh man.
Nope. Never saw it. I keep saying, I'm going to catch it. I'm going to catch it. I'm going to binge it. I'm going to binge it. And then it got to like 6 seasons, and I was like, fuck, I missed this.
I think seasons 1 and 2 for me were like prime.
Were the real deal.
We're prime. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it and then got so like, okay, I got to catch it. I got to really watch it. And just timing. You know, that's the thing. Like for me anyway, to watch any kind of series or season, timing has to be like,
right.
You got to be in a cool space.
Your enthusiasm for it has to match the time that you have to engage in it.
Right.
Yes.
You want to be open. You want to kind of really feel this thing out and see what's going on with this thing. So, yeah, I would agree with that. That's more the line. But on the YouTube world, Barbecue Becky. Have you seen this case?
No. Barbecue Becky.
Barbecue Becky.
This sounds like fun.
Oh, this is so much fun. You've probably seen it as a meme. You've probably seen it.
Oh, the chick that, yes. This is the most hilarious shit. It is fucking hilarious what people have done with this. It is.
The internet has no filter.
No shame, man.
No shame.
No shame.
And if you get caught and if you do some bullshit, like, I don't understand. Like, she could have just left. Like, she could have just walked away and was like, you know what, put the phone down. But she just kept that phone glued to her ear. No one was on the other line. There was no,
Well, no one couldn't have been on the line. She was on the phone the whole damn time this thing took place. So there's no way you could be talking to somebody.
She had the extra battery pack and the power. Like, if I was marketing, I'd call Samsung and be like, yo, we want to buy this shit. We need this.
Look, if she's smart, she try to make some money off it. Might as well, right?
When your battery goes low, I use a so-and-so adapter. Because she had the shit plugged in and just be like...
But I just love it. I just
hey,
love what they've done.
There's people scratching and surviving here. They're having fun.
You see her picture everywhere in the fucking playoffs. People like somebody shooting a shot and you see her in the stands. It's like... It's fucking hilarious.
Oh my God, I'm calling. And when the cop came, she was crying for bloody murder. She was like, oh my God, they were following me and taking... Oh.
And it's just another example of just, like what?
But is that not mental health? Is that not...
Yeah, that is a mental health issue.
Mental health goes both ways. You could be super crazy or super paranoid or super arrogant or ignorant or whatever else. It's a mental health issue. That lady has mental health problems.
Yes.
For some reason, she felt that she was the one to do whatever.
She was the arbitrator of justice, and needed to of a dude who, and apparently this guy, if I understand this right, like he's pretty much lived in that area all of his adult life.
Yeah. But you know what? Thank God she ran into some decent black folk. You understand what I mean?
As opposed to somebody who would just jack
As opposed to some rancid, ravaged savages motherfuckers that would have knocked her on her head and toppled her over, that would have went left.
Because that would have been the story.
Because that would have been the
story.
story.
That would have been the story, right.
Oh, a lady calls it in, and these guys beat her up and rape her and, take her pants off or whatever.
Right.
Whatever.
So she ran into this dude was a decent dude who said, hey, look, I've lived here pretty much all my life. I come out here every weekend. What are you talking about?
And like, look at the opposite. Oh, not for charcoal. She was like, not for charcoal. You can't have charcoal. What else?
Right. So she starts pulling it back then.
Well, I was supposed to bring a propane tank to a park. How about that? And that's more safe than everything else. Oh my God! This was the internet at its finest, and this goes to show you that no one is exempt from shenanigans.
She's paying for it. She's paying for it. The dude that went off on some workers speaking Spanish. Oh, the lawyer in New York. That's down the block from
my office.
Is it really?
It's on 39. That's on 39.
I don't know where it was, but apparently he's getting like hounded all the time. You see this dude running away from people and shit.
They had a mariachi band on Friday outside. I swear to you, I was gonna go down and film it, but because of this fucking pollen is like literally on my shoulder. I was gonna go down and film it, but
then the mariachi band outside his office.
Then the shooting happened, and then I started watching that, and I was like, "Yeah, they had a mariachi band outside."
You gonna make it, bro?
I'm good.
Why don't you take a second?
I'm just coughing. That's all.
So what was this dude's gripe? Was his gripe just that people who worked in that establishment were speaking Spanish? Was that the only like nobody disrespected him? Nobody. Nothing. He just didn't like the fact that people were speaking Spanish.
Yeah. And somehow just got fucking fed up. And he's also fluent in Spanish, so he understood what they were saying. Mm-hmm. Now, I will tell you that on my side of it, I think I sort of said it on one of the podcasts before, when I was working in a hotel. Excuse me, folks. Sorry. One of the biggest problems we used to have was the housekeepers making too much noise when they would service the rooms. Okay. And to this poor soul's credit, I can't make this shit up. I told the lady, I said, listen, guys, Griselda was her name, they were all Spanish, and they used to all look at me and say, talk Spanish to me, and I say, so I learned the only word I can learn, and my friend taught me this, yo luzca español, pero no habla. I look it, but I don't speak it. Oh, see? You could say that. You could say, what the fuck? Are you playing with me? You think you think you jefe. You think you're the boss. You think you're better than us. But here's what she said to me, and this is what made me sympathize with this guy. She told me, I said, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. We're knocking on people's doors trying to get into the rooms to service them. So we want the people that actually left, that don't have no sign on their door, and we want to get in and get out and turn the room over. Maybe they're checking out. They caught a flight. We want to turn that room over as fast as we can so we can resell it. Right? The maids on the floor, they come with their carts, and they try to beat like my crew to because they think we're going to steal the tips and all this other stuff. Okay. And they go out. I said, hey, tranquilo, chill. She said, oh, we speak in Spanish. They don't understand it. I said, it's not what they're saying. It's the volume. Right. She said, well, who cares? They don't understand. I said, no, so people are sleeping. They just want to chill out. All you hear is pop, 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 pop. It sounds like it's foreign. I mean, it's foreign. So she had this thing in her head that as long as they didn't understand it,
nobody would be bothered by it.
Nobody's bothered by it.
All right.
And I thought that was the most weirdest thing I've ever heard in retro to, volume versus quantity versus, those guys are going to there's two planes. It's literally two, like one, but I guess they're probably
super distant. No, they gotta be really far away from each other.
They probably are. So that was pretty funny, but man, that guy's got, and then there was another one on the railroad. The monkeys on this stop here, on Valley Stream stop.
Oh, that happened that happened a couple weeks ago.
The week before, right? Where the guy was like, "You don't know who your mother is," and and then the Nina Panita and all of them show up at his house, and they're like, and the girl's like, "That's not my father. My father's a good guy. He's this."
It's the classic case of like you put your feet on the ground for what you believe is right, regardless of whether you are or not. Yeah. you get shown something else, and rather than retreat, rather than say, because all of these shits would have been done if the person would have said, hey, you know what? It left.
My bad.
My mistake.
My mistake. Let me get the fuck out of here.
My mistake. Never mind. Or just shut up and just left.
Yeah.
But no. Put their second foot in the ground.
I'm gonna fight.
And said, no. This is it.
Right.
You can't barbecue here.
Right.
Not with charcoal.
With charcoal.
Not, and you just build upon it.
Yeah, she just couldn't let it go. I mean, I feel sorry for people like that. I feel sorry for people that are so programmed into a point of where wrong and strong is a terminology that is far off the used too much. Like if you don't know the law and you're not an official, you're not a person that can. Right. You couldn't even write a ticket. What you wouldn't do? A citizen's arrest? Is that what she like? What was the outcome of? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's all leave. Like, did she want to see that?
Probably. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Would that have worked for her? Oh, I'm sorry. We'll just pack up our shit. I'm sorry because you said so.
Hey, listen.
And did you see the next day or the night when they all out there doing electric slide?
Yes, I did see that.
They all doing electric slide.
But then shit gets exacerbated and whatnot, and then
excuse me, folks.
When it got dialed up, when other white people were saying this dude, he's lived here for whatever, you can do, and we're correcting her, saying, hey, yes, you can just do it here, you can do whatever. Dial your shit back.
Yeah, this clearly.
My apologies. Hey, I'm sorry. You might have gotten a fucking burger out of it.
I swore I thought he said, you want some food or something? You hungry?
Right, are you hungry?
You need a burger or something?
You need your blood sugar low?
Yeah.
Or some shit?
But what? I mean, she's got to be the asshole of the day, donkey of the day, whatever you want to call it. Like, she's...
Well, look, she's paying for it now because her picture's all over the place.
Pictures all over.
We're going to see it now. I'm trying to imprint some shit so we can take one of these pictures and put... It'd be great if you see her, sticking her head over the fucking thing.
She might make the cover of Two Bros podcast. She might make episode 31.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I see these guys having a podcast. I'm calling the cops.
Just getting your comeuppance, and that's just getting your comeuppance.
But I mean, she should put out a mixtape or something, or put an album. I don't know. I mean,
might as well
do something. I mean,
might as well invite her to the
her and Kanye maybe.
Invite her to the NAACP awards. Ooh. And just have her. Oh, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Ooh. The NAACP would just have her just sitting there, just on the phone. If I was Cricket or a struggling cell phone company or something, I'd give her a fucking... Gotta give her a call.
I'd give her a call. I'd be like, what kind of phone you have?
What can you lose?
Yeah, you need a Hisense phone.
You need a Hisense phone. We just need you to do these few advertisements for us.
Which is, they've been banning these Hisense phones.
We'll drop you a couple of Hisense phones.
Hisense. Is it Hisense or one of the brands, the other Chinese? Yahweh phones.
Yahweh, and there's another one that apparently we're trying to make a deal with. Well, because China is notorious for stealing shit. So they're notorious for stealing intellectual property.
Well, I tell you, we have a shitload of stuff at the cave, at the shop. We got Beats pills that are not real. We got headphones that are not real. Like this one happened to be real, but we had boxes of them. When he came back from China, they were like $10 each, and Beats pills with USB ports on them that can take thumb drives and stuff. Yeah. And we're like, the Beats doesn't have this. And they're like, no, that's not ours. But it's
well,
looks like
apparently, if you want to do business with somewhere in China, they need your So if Street Equities was pimping some shirts out in China, they want to know what technology you're using to make your shirts.
Sure.
They want to know all the equipment you're using and how you're doing it and blah, 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 blah. But they want it so that they now all of a sudden the threat is that they'll take it, they'll reproduce it at a much lower cost.
This happens quite often in both in my hospitality world and then in everything else. So we'll constantly get we'll send specs to a factory, chair, whatever else. You could send them a picture of a dining room table and write the word chair, and they say your chair is ready. They don't. There's nothing. We did it exactly the way you said. Looks like it, but it's filled with. They don't know the inner workings of it, right? The filler, the purpose for it, the end use of it.
Right.
So they constantly just make it to look and spec as much as you show them. and to fill in the gap now, especially with 3D printing and all this other stuff. I mean, it is a wide open market for copying shit.
Yeah.
The Apple guys, I mean, the guys that make all these phones and Apple and Nikes and all this stuff, it's not so much that they're fake, it's that they didn't get approved. So they were all bidding. You understand? They were all bidding to make the product. And Nike goes and says, oh, let me see your product. Boom, boom, boom. No, this doesn't match. Refused. Well, they got all this fucking product they tested.
Right.
So they go, fuck you guys. We didn't get approved.
But
okay,
I think,
well, we're going to call them Sykes.
But I think the main issue is when it comes to like when you're doing business deals and whatnot. So as Nike first started and they wanted to sell sneakers in China, they had to give China their trademark
the licensing
and all that stuff like that, and
the licensing is important.
So that they would ultimately reproduce it on their own and say, okay, well these $90 Nikes here, we got them for $9.
Right. The licensing agreement is always based on two things: one, the right to reproduce,
right,
and not to duplicate without the authorization of the person who hired you. So you can be a Nike factory, but you can't make anything outside of what the distribution asks you for. That factory can also make more material for other people. They could make Reeboks, they could make, whatever.
Right.
But if Nike says, hey, we want to make sure we're going to give you 90, we're going to, because everything in China, which a little bit different than how it works here, they go by the contract of man hours worked and et cetera. So you're going to give me 500 hours a week to produce this product. What's the turnaround cost? Then they say, okay, fine. We're working for you for 5,000 hours. That leaves us from...
Our 5,001
is mine. Yeah, it's not in the contract anymore. And they go and they'll take another contract and say, sorry, so we can't produce this we can't start working on it until then. Right. Because the factory floor has got to be cleared with all the shit, and they're going to say... And Nike will say, no, we want you guys for the next 10 years, so we want all exclusive. So everybody that says, oh, I have a factory in China, I have a factory. No, you don't, because you have to be a Chinese nationalist. That's number one.
Right.
You can't be an American and own a factory.
Right, you can't own a factory.
It's a communist country. You need to be a nationalist that lives there. So I've done this several times with furniture manufacturers that, we own the factory. No, you don't.
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't own shit.
No, you don't. You may be screwing the lady that works there. You may have a relationship, you may have an exclusive reproduction, but you don't own shit.
Yeah, well, like you said, it is a communist country.
It is a communist country. So Kim Jong-un seems to be. What's this guy doing? Is he like backing out, or is he wants to meet with Trump, not meet with Trump? Is that going to happen?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Rocket man.
I think the thing about him is that he's young.
No pun intended.
He's young.
Kim Jong-un.
He's a fan of
Dennis Rodman.
Of U.S. and Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman, apparently they give each other hand jobs and stuff like that every time he goes over there and stuff like that. I think the main thing he wants to do is he wants to make sure that North Korea protects their sovereignty, so to speak.
Yeah.
They don't want to give up their shit, but at the same time, I think Kim Jong-un wants to... Well, that's hard to say because he's had people killed.
It's hard to say what someone else wants.
Yeah.
It's hard to say what someone else wants out of this deal. It's very hard to say, because then again, you ask yourself, what do we want out of it? Like, what do we?
Right.
Do we want Korean fucking? What do we want? We don't want anything from them. We don't.
Yeah.
We're posing sanctions on like Iran and all these other people for.
Well, the Iran deal got
kiboshed.
Kiboshed, and I gotta admit, for good reason. So
yes. Absolutely.
It's for good. People saying that this is a horrible thing. I said, no, it's not a horrible thing because one of the things that this deal did not have, it did not have the authority for us to check their military complexes, which was producing the most shit. So it's kind of like, hey, I think you're smoking weed in the basement.
Yeah, but...
we'll make an agreement that I check your shit, but you know what? You can't check this closet.
Right, you can't
over
check
here.
The basement.
You can't check the thing that has the most stuff in it. We agreed to that. So are they compliant? Yes, they complied, but they complied with sort of like the weakest element of what we needed.
That was a comply with a wink. That was a comply sure.
We comply. Yeah, you can come over here.
Go tell the American
people. You can go look
people
over there where that shit is, but don't look over here.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, the U.S. No, I'm no trader, I'm no turncoat or whatever. But we have a warped sense of entitlement too in the world that we seem to be able. You can't build weapons. You can't have a bigger gun than us. Put your guns away. We'll keep ours. But you put yours away. We're smarter than you. Like we're more intelligent. So don't put your when you watch cops at a standoff, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of a microcosm of it. Cops at a standoff was like, we need to make sure you don't have any guns. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, I don't have any. The minute they think there's guns and they say, yo, this guy is armed, he's got a shitload of guns in there, they won't go. They won't cross that line. The minute they know that he's totally disarmed, they come in, hey, you motherfucker, fucking, bust your head in. This is fucked up. Like, this is a mentality that it's not fair, what I'm saying? So if I'm a country and I'm protecting my country, you bet damn right I got all the fucking guns and nukes or whatever. I'm building a plasma gun or whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm building something that you don't even know about. So what difference does it make? And you don't want to sell to me? Fine. You don't want to deal with me? Fine. Like, why do we care? If we want to be so independent and you worried about, like, there's no maniacal people like, oh, they're having so much fun over there, I want to blow them up. That's just like this lady. That's the same lady. That's the same thing. Like, you guys are having so much fun, I want to fuck your shit up. Is it that much fun? Are we having that much fun?
Well, when you're comparing the two are two totally different
macro
scenarios,
right? One's micro and one macro. So, but we're. Listen, I don't know when you're going to visit the next poolside resort in Afghanistan and go do...
well, Afghanistan's another thing. Afghanistan is something.
Yeah, I don't know when you're going to go to school over there and study medical, whatever else. And I don't know when any of us are going over there to do, what do you call it? What do you call it when you go to school?
Study abroad.
Study abroad. We'll study abroad in Afghanistan and Libya and all this other shit. So the idea that we're helping them is pretty fucking far fetched. Like this is. I mean, if people haven't seen this now, we're gonna bomb the shit out of you guys. I've seen families torn apart. Fucking missiles in their living room, and they're like, we just don't like the way they say Allah Akbar. You know what I'm saying? And
I think it's more than that.
I don't know what it is. What is it? What is it? We don't like the way you guys look. We don't. I mean, that's the most hypocritical thing ever. To have a country or a nation, Now, if you were throwing shit at us, then it's like, yo, that shit came pretty fucking close, man. Like, yo, I don't care what y'all doing over there, but when you start throwing shit over here, we're gonna respond. Right. So I agree with that mentality when Trump first came with that. Like, hey, we're going to get out of these countries. We're going to get away from them. We're going to get out and out and out now. But the first deal he did was carrier.
Carrier, yes.
Now, you've been overseas. Mm-hmm. If you've ever been to the desert in Afghanistan, the number one thing you need is a fucking air conditioner.
Is an air conditioner, right.
And we're shipping hundreds of thousands of them per month to these little fucking shacks that they're shipping in. So what did they do? Oh, stop making them in China. All we were doing was brokering them. Mm-hmm. We were brokering. The carrier was saying, "Fuck it, it's a short China. We're gonna buy 10,000 of them this month, shipping from China to Afghanistan, blank shipment. All the shit they teach you how to do with Amazon now to make $1 million. It's called drop ship, right?
Drop ship, right?
That's all they were doing. They were drop shipping air conditioners. And they said, no, you got to make them in Indiana and fucking, employ a bunch of people here. Mm-hmm. It's like Dave Chappelle said in the thing. He was like, stop talking about bringing those jobs back to here. I don't want the iPhone to cost $3,000. We don't want that job here. We like the cheap phone. It's already $800, $900. Like, if you're going to do something about that, do something about that. But we're just moving at warp speed. And there's no... I don't think anyone has rhyme or reason to. I don't think humanity itself has an idea of the direction we want to go in. I think
That's yeah.
I mean that's a scary side of it. And while it's not fair to say, and we don't obviously speak for all of humanity, but there is a sense of lostness, like lost.
Well, and there's like this whole. there's like the whole scope of the world going on that, to be quite honest with you, most people really don't give a shit about. They want to know, hey, look, how is my life going to be better? Hey, can I buy a decent house?
Right.
Can I get my family in a decent neighborhood?
Right.
Can my kids go to some pretty good schools?
Pursuit of happiness.
Can they pursue that thing? Can I go on a vacation every couple? How is my life going to be a little bit better because of this? And I think as we get as we know a little bit more, we're starting to say, well, how does this work with like the fact I'm trying to get 2 weeks in Cancun with my wife and shit. What does this got to do with that?
I will tell you that every time I go on vacation and I go to some island, especially Caribbean, blue water, white sand, I can't imagine what the fuck is so wrong with anyone that doesn't want this. Like, why do you want to fuck this up? Like, why do you want to make this? Do you like jumping over bombshells and why would you not want to do this? And I think in the grand scheme, I heard a story from, I don't know how true it was, with Jay-Z and Prokhorov, right? The Russian billionaire, or whatever.
Right.
And he's in the south of France at some place with, some resort.
Right.
And it's $1,000 a night a room or whatever else, and Jay-Z's got a cabana with all his friends in there sipping the high-end champagne, playing, pushing each other in the pool, having a good time. And this guy's like, dude, the fuck, you let anybody in here? Like, you guys don't know who that is. Like, that's Jay-Z and his crew and his friends. They're having a good time. He's like, yeah, but come on, like. This oligarchy thing of like, hey, we just came here to be exclusive. We didn't really want to do anything. Like we didn't want to have fun. We didn't want to actually dive and jump and play around and have pranks. We're just stuffy white folks. No, Smithers, don't touch that. Don't play with that. But so this guy's like, hey, well, who is that guy? And they was like, well, if you don't know, I mean, shit, you're probably the problem because. This guy is a fucking guy. He's the main guy. Are you sinking?
No, I'm not.
I think you are sinking.
I think I'm sinking in the back here.
I think you are sinking. But yeah, man. So some crazy shit in the world. Barbecue Becky has foiled the plot again. She has foiled the plot again.
She needs to get some dick.
Yeah, that's.
Get some of the dick. Oh
man,
dick
some from the bros. She should have got it from the bros.
Exactly. Ask. Just ask. Just excuse me. Just I just ask. Can I just can I get a burger and then can one of you guys bend me over? And
yeah. Oh, that was so bad. So,
in a way, I feel sorry for her.
I do
because like she's it's like if you're gonna be known for something, that's kind of like not the thing you want to be. Like known for,
she's had like degrees and stuff, and she's like a medical something, right? She was in medical. She's a doctor or something. She was in some sort of medical profession or whatever else. But boy, did that one go wrong. I mean, I didn't think she predicted that one. So,
what's the phrase? You're gonna get your 15 minutes, but it's probably not gonna be the 15 minutes you wanted.
That you wanted.
It's only a select few get the 15 minutes that they want.
Yeah.
So she's on her 15 minutes.
She's on her 15 minutes.
It'll dwindle out.
Yeah, it will. I'm sure it will. I went to a charity event last week, Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday for Bella Abzug.
Oh, Bella Abzug.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know her?
I know of her.
City borough president for Manhattan. Wears the hats. Very interesting young lady. Very, very, very well. She's obviously passed away, and this is a foundation that she represents. So I was asked to attend as a attendee, and I brought my wife, and we went to Tribeca Rooftop, which was fantastic. A great spread, food and sliders and dinner and all this other crazy stuff. We had a great time. But interestingly enough, the event was all about this, women empowerment, and the current Manhattan Borough president spoke. Forget her name. I have the brochure. Should have been more prepared. But she spoke, and, they talked about, obviously, the Attorney General, who they know, and they were saying this is fucked up, and, they kind of alluded to it being somewhat of a witch hunt, but, he either fell for it and, shame on him, but, whatever. But I get to the story. The moral of the story was that I did not know how big the Boy Scout, Girl Scout debate thing was. and the Eagles Scouts of America. Because
boys want to be Girl Scouts and girls want to be. Is that what it is, basically?
So while we all know of the Girl Scouts, right, the cookies and everything else, the challenge has been for the girls to be in the Boy Scouts. Now, super weird. This heart surgeon got up and talked, and his daughter was a recipient of. Mind you, these people give a shitload of scholarships away.
They do, yes.
They give a
Yes,
shitload
they're
of
very,
support. They have a huge alumni. They have a plethora of resources because each one of them are, hey, I'm a scout, I'm a this, I'm a former, and they keep it with them. It's almost like a skull and bone type of thing that some people would say, oh, that's that Illuminati stuff. That's that underworld stuff, secret society stuff. Yeah. And it's really not. It's called, hey, get involved, right? It's called, hey, I signed up and I got involved, and they opened me to a whole bunch of doors. Now, I brought my wife with me, and she was, she works for the city, and she's like, I never heard of these programs. They were mentioning a shitload of them, and she was like, everything that they talk of seems to be, Manhattan-centric, right? Everything was all Manhattan, and the rest of the boroughs, we have no interest in
or no
sharing
influence or whatever.
Right. If you guys can't be a part of this, and these people were like from Jersey, they were from South Orange, but they were in these programs, so it was pretty weird. I say this to say that they got on a couple of young ladies, their scholarship recipients, who are, and Hunter College president was there.
Okay.
She's a big part of this thing. Tons of alumni that are in all other businesses and Fortune 500 companies, and so all of a sudden people coming out, oh, you were part of this, this club or whatever. Right. They're going right into Fortune 500 companies. They're doing their internships at Morgan Stanley. They're doing their, so it was insane. It was pretty insane, and I'm like, holy shit, we missed all of this. Like we missed everyone. Like we didn't get.
All I had to do was sign up.
All I had to do was sign up. I say this to say is that they then went and talked about. So this guy gets up and talks about we're making strides and we're finally getting, the Eagle Scouts to accept, the women into this club. And I'm saying to myself, so I'm like, duh, don't you have Girl Scouts?
Right.
And they clearly said, yeah, but the Girl Scouts is just for the cookies.
Ah! So.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, bro. I could be wrong. But he clearly made it seem as if the part of the Girl Scouts was the cookie and the troop. They do have the troops and the chapters or whatever, but it's not like this Boy Scouts club that has this huge thing, and then you go to Eagle Scout. And
so the idea isn't to bolster up the Girl Scouts. It's to get them over to this other one where all the money is. It's not how do I bring this X amount of dollars over here to this one, but it's how. So in doing that, you sort of devalue one over the other.
Right. So in my head, all I said was, well, you got Boy Scouts, you got Girl Scouts. What's the difference? Like you should just
split the check.
It's like the NBA and the WNBA. Like you have, you can't get enough fans here. Well, you ran your own court. Like you run your own. Like, but you still have the. So I said, if that's the case, then just make it Scouts of America, like whatever. If it's a scout thing,
right?
And they said, no, like they were like, no, like we're not changing the name. Like it was definitely it was like you don't know what you're talking about. You're not part of this. Who are you? Like why are you here? And what? I was like, hey, I'm sorry.
Just asking a question.
I'm just saying.
I just got a question.
Sounds a lot easier if you just take the gender away from it and call it the Scouts. And they were like, no. We're the Boy Scouts. And I said, this sounds papal. It sounds very papal. Very papal, Pope-like almost.
It does.
Almost Catholic priest-like. It did sound I was creeped out by it. But it was overall
So in other words, they've in their desire to make things equitable, they acknowledge a hierarchy to which one is clearly elite and one is
just for the people to know that it's happening. Like one is for show. And one is for
I'm 3 beers in, and if I don't go take a piss, I'm going to hurt somebody.
We'll take a break.
Let's take a break.
We're taking a break. See.
We are all happy.
We're back.
We're back. Well,
Where were we?
We've introduced chips.
Yeah, we got nachos.
And it's not going to stop me from drinking beer. Just take a piss.
No.
But no, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, it's about how girls should be involved into this one thing as opposed to bolstering the organization that we've created for women.
Right. I was blown away. I mean, again, I don't know how. I could be speaking from a point of I don't understand it.
Right.
Or maybe I didn't understand what they meant by it. But what it seemed to me from the outside looking in was that they were strictly on a path of this is the elite part. We want to get in, and because they have all the resources, they have everything. They have the scholarships. They have all, and I was just like, but you guys have the Girl Scouts.
Why don't you have your own?
Right. And it would almost seem that they should have both. I mean, it seems that they run in parallels, but obviously not.
Mm-hmm.
Which we know and when we look at sports, when we look at the WNBA versus we clearly know there's a difference in. It was a cool looking bird there. It just dropped in on us. It's clearly a different way that it is viewed. Probably from its monetization, I would assume. Probably the amount of press and stuff that it gets is probably dictatorial of that. But it's so not. Yeah, but
But you're not talking about something that like the difference is what you can do physically or
right.
anything like that.
Right.
It's just a matter of. It just seems like a matter of just like assignment. Like we've always done it this way.
Right.
So why should we do this differently now?
No, I looked at it the same way, and I was like, are we talking about like what? Pocket knives and carvings and little wood blocks.
Right.
And obviously, since we're not scouts, this thing has a ladder. There's a huge ladder in this world of this Boy Scout club, which I don't, it wasn't like I was going to go, oh, wow, let me go look at the whole Boy Scout conspiracy.
Uh-huh.
It just blew me away that it even had,
that element even existed.
Yeah, that it even existed. Like, why? Like, I was shocked. But it's there. It's evident.
Well, at least the food was good, right?
Yeah, food was awesome. They just kept coming with all kinds of stuff, lollipops, lamb lollipops, and sliders, and
were there pigs in a blanket?
Tuna tartare. Were there pigs in a blanket? I don't think there were pigs in a blanket.
It always seemed that pigs in a blanket kind of makes their way into
every function,
regardless of if it's like a hoity-toity event.
Pigs in a blanket
or just a down.
Pigs in a blanket always can go.
It always seems like everybody can. Oh yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. Pigs in a blanket do well. I agree. Pigs in a blanket fit.
It fits almost every.
If you have good mustard.
Yes, you gotta have good mustard.
You gotta have like a Grey Poupon, a nice Dijon. You can't have like,
one of those
deli mustard. You can't have like
one of
yellow
those nose wrenching.
Yeah. You need
mustards,
something.
Yeah.
You gotta have that. Which we had a guy. I had a guy make me a Bloody Mary. I think I was on a flight where I came from LA or whatever else. And the dude was like, I was like, "Can you do a Bloody Mary?" Or he was like, "Can I do a Bloody Mary?" And first he did the whole lot. He gave me like extra vodka.
Okay.
Finlandia vodka. I'm not a fan of. It doesn't make a difference, but it's just it's like nothing.
You just don't reach for Finlandia vodka.
Yeah. I wouldn't reach for that. But he goes, hold this. He goes to make this martini on the plane. Mm-hmm. I guess he was dying to do this. It was for whatever reason he was like, "Oh, you want a Bloody Mary?
I get to show my skills."
And he did make a kick-ass Bloody Mary.
Yeah?
It was pretty black. But it was Tabasco. He put a shitload of Tabasco in it, and which I don't mind if you do it right. Tabasco, you got to have horseradish. You got to have all the stuff in it. No, pretty fun. But I don't know, man. It was just really weird. It was really weird having this kind of hierarchy business going on with Boy Scouts. I was really freaked out about it. And then met a bunch of charity people there. Couple of people that were like, "Hey, we'll help you write a grant. We'll help you do it." I was like, "Really? Like, yeah, sure." you just got 150,000 for this guy. He's doing this. You don't have to pay it back. It's a grant.
Wow.
The companies are dying to give you this money.
So what companies are those? I wish we knew that.
Yeah, well, that's
like on the everyday. Like,
see, that's the part that really pissed my wife off about most of it, because she was like, no one knows this.
Right.
Like she got there by luck, and she was like, why isn't this available for everybody? I'm like, I said it the same way. It's like, if everyone did it, it wouldn't be special. Like,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, to an extent. Yeah. I mean, you wanna assume that the people who, like, if to get there, you have to know that sort of, well, you got there because you followed.
You found the keys.
A certain channel, or you
you
found the keys.
Yeah.
You found the magic word.
Right.
So to speak. And so it really, I guess in a legal sense, it is for everybody, but they can control how much, what they mean by everybody.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll go back to Mr. LL Cool J, in his days of being local to having success to, well, why isn't everyone on, I mean, because the journey to get there, very seldomly do people want to do the work.
Yeah.
They don't want to do the homework.
Time, yeah.
They just don't want to do the homework in getting to that part of it. So you just want the easy way out, hence the barbarians of the world that have settled it. Oh, look at this nice town. They have Indian squallies here. Look, they cook for you. They clean for you. Sure, why don't we just tie one of them to a tree and rape her, and we'll take their furs in the morning, and we're off away.
You saw The Revenant.
Yes. Yes. Clearly I took that from The Revenant. Nigger Jim, But, that in itself is like this whole mentality of I was put here to do that,
Yeah.
It's very dangerous.
Some people don't. I mean, I was watching his interview with the guy who, he became very successful, and he wanted to do a lot for, his people, so to speak. But he retorted that same thing. He says a lot of people don't want to do the work for it. He would approach a couple guys and they would say, "Yo, man, why don't you put me on and stuff like that?" And the dude said, "Okay, well, you know what? When I'm in town, I could use a driver, and I could use somebody to get me back and forth to meetings and stuff like that, and there'll be a little bit of partying involved, but and I can give you X amount of dollars for that, whatever." I was like, "Nah, man, I'm trying." And I said, "Well, don't you like
I'm trying to get in.
So you just want me to drop a stack of money here for you, to do your thing, and not realize and say, hey, wait a minute, there's I had to work for this.
Yeah. I mean,
so if I'm gonna give it out, I gotta at least know that I'm getting something
100%
back in return for it. So you mean to tell me? So when I come down to Florida, and if I'm in Florida for 4 days, and I drop you like 5 G's or whatever to just to drive back and forth and here or there. You got a problem with that? That's called working. That's called that's called working. And guess what happens after that? I speak to so and say, hey, yeah, well, you know what? If you need a driver, when the so and so call this dude, and he
pretty reliable.
Yeah, he's a pretty reliable. And guess what you have? You've got now some more money and
two customers.
More. You got 2 customers.
Yeah, whenever you can double the reason why you're there, that seems to always be the catch. Like, okay, I came here because I'm with him, but now I got 3 other customers. So it's like a DJ at a party.
Right.
Good job at a party. If no one comes up to you and says, hey, are you available for other parties and stuff like that? Really like how you were gigging, Okay, then everything was worth it.
Right.
Everything was worth it if one more person walks away. Or even if it may not be right at the moment. It may be hey, who's your DJ? Oh, call a guy.
Well, your man John Taffer will always say, says
I love John Taffer.
When somebody walks in the door, okay, you've succeeded, but now your job is to make sure they walk in the door again.
Right.
So what are you doing? Okay, they've walked in the door. So whatever you did to get them to walk into the door, hey, congratulations. You did a good job.
Nice sign.
Now the job is to make sure. Now, what are you going to do to make sure that this person comes back? And a lot of people don't realize that. Like, it's not like, getting somebody in the door is kind of like the easy part. Okay, well, what's going to keep them from coming back? What's going to keep them from coming back and then maybe telling a couple friends? Yeah. Or maybe going up to a manager and say, hey, look, we're having a shindig thing, I mean, do you guys cater? I mean, if we want to have a party here, blah, 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 blah. How do you get more than what you're giving out? Or are you just one of those who just say, hey, this is it, and that's all there is to it?
There are some people like that, because I work for hotel developers who, obviously nameless, but he said to me, Oren, 8 million people a month come to this city. I only need them to stay with me once. There's always new people. He thinks that the supply is unlimited. That the amount of people who will try it once and never come back. He looks at it from that perspective. So at some point, where's the disposableness? Like where do you value what gets thrown away?
Right. And
he values it hey, I only need to make an impression on them once, because this town is too big for them to come back here. They're gonna want to try something else. Right. And I agree with that to the extent of when I'm in the city, I don't want to stay at the same place, same time over and over. I don't want to go to the same bar all the time, although we like our watering hole, because we know what we're there for. But there are places where you go, let's try that one out this week. Right. Oh, let's go to dinner at this place here. Like, you wouldn't keep going to the same restaurant for dinner hey, let's go out to dinner. Let's go back to that place there. It was pretty cool. You'll go there with no options. You have nowhere else to go. Hey, let's go back to that place, because you know what you were getting yourself into. Right. So I think in a city, especially a metro city like New York, or a big town city where there's here today, gone tomorrow, you want to try your hand at a couple of different places. And all right, let's try this one out. And I'm not saying it's good or bad, but yes, the repeat. When you're in Podunk, Iowa, you need the person to come in again. You need that. Hey, every Friday we're going down to the Weehaw. That's every Friday. But when the metro cities where there's so much stuff going, and you have an influx of new blood every week, constantly, it can be skewed. It can go skew. It could go. I don't care if they come back. Fuck them. Yeah, fuck them. Yeah. So there is both, I guess. But needless to say, you should always take care of your customers. While they are always come first, you may not want to, but
well, I mean, you want to make them think they came first.
Yeah, I mean, some customers abuse that privilege. I mean, I still think being a customer is just as much of a privilege as being a provider.
Well, it's just as much effort too. I mean, you have to, you have to be a good customer.
Yes, I agree with it. You have to be a good customer. You have to be a compliant customer.
I know this one. There's this bar I go to. It's around work. If you let me know if you're on the east side. This one place I go to at work. It's a place called Overlook.
Overlook.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a couple of bartenders there that are kind of ornery. And I take that back. They're not ornery, but they will flat out tell you if you're a cheap son of a bitch. And there's this one guy.
Right here, sir.
There's this one guy. Somebody was there. They had a few beers and blah, 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 blah. Came time for them to settle up. They settled up, and he left him a very, very small tip. Sparse. A sparse tip. And this bartender says, wow, all that for like $2. I guess it was a waste of my fucking time today. Shit like that.
Oh, that's ornery.
So it's one of those things where, like, you just don't, sometimes you have to figure out what it is to be a good customer. Now, I will say that when I was in that week I spent in Spain, that whole like tip culture it doesn't exist.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't exist. Now, when I went to that bar, that heavy metal dive bar that I liked, and I dropped a few extra euros down there, they opened the whole place up for me.
Really?
And shit like that. Yeah, because that's not a normal thing.
Right.
The normal thing is for you to pay for pay for whatever
first,
you do. Right.
You pay for first, then go sit down.
Normally you pay up front, but pay for your stuff. We're not really concerned about you staying longer or whatever. Just here, this costs €4.
Pay per plate.
Fine.
Yeah,
pay your €4. Not your €4 and you enjoyed the service, so you're going to drop another euro down and stuff like that.
And I get it. I mean, listen, the culture of tipping is, we would say, is an American thing. I think
so. Yeah,
it is an American thing. I get asked all the time from tourists, how do you guys tip? You supposed to, you do, because they don't do it. And there's a couple of bars in the city that now have, restaurants. Forget the name of this sushi place I've gone to, which has a bar and everything. And the biggest line is, we're tipless. It's included. Like, don't tip. Like, do not tip. Our service is fair price for the stuff, and it's included. So I like that. Do
you?
Yeah, I like that. Because two things are going to happen. You're going to get even keel service. It tells more about them than it does about you. Like, it's not anticipate. Like, in LA, it happened to us very blatantly that the lady at the bar, we bar hopped a few, and smoked weed, and I'm like, the cops are coming, and he was like, chill, it's all right.
You're in California. You're in California.
Like, yeah. And the guy was like, yo, you got about another 10 minutes, and you're good. You guys can park here. And we're like, thanks. It's like, we're like, good looking. It was pretty weird. It was pretty fucking weird. But I say this to say that we just jumped into this bar. We said, fuck it. We didn't know where we were going.
Right.
And I'm with locals, and they're like, dude, it's kind of hit or miss. It's Tuesday. It was like a weird day. It was like a Tuesday night, and it was like hit or miss. So I was like, dude, I don't care. We're just going to grab a few beers. We'll make the party. We'll make it fun. Jump into this place, and the lady clearly had no... now, the one thing about being in L.A., we go to a bar at 5, 6 o'clock after work kind of style. All the games are on because it's our time.
Okay, yeah.
That's pretty fucking weird to me. That really freaked me out.
5 o'clock, all the games are on.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, what's going on
wait,
here?
The second game's about to come on, and I'm like, what? What are you talking about? You guys are like, what? And they're like, yeah, dude, it's like, so they're after work, 5 o'clock is like,
it's slam.
Prime time. Yeah, it's super prime time. Like, so that freaked me out. The one lady jumped in and served us, was a bartender or whatever else. Not into it at all. She just, so, naturally our response is we're like, okay, I guess, we don't have enough, ours is not green like everyone else. Maybe, I don't know. Until another young guy came over and said, hey, what's up? You got any specials or whatever else? And he might have been more dashing and handsomer than us or whatever. But she showed her teeth. Like, it was like, hi, so we have this, we have that. Like, a total different experience. And the guy was, like, next to us.
Right.
And, you do this, what's up? And the guy was like, hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? What are you doing? You live here? He was a talkative guy. He was so we were like, yeah, what's up? And she's serving both of us with two attitudes. Like,
two different attitudes.
Two different people.
So did you ask him and says, hey, why is she being a cunt to us?
I said, he says, you never been here. It might have been the perfect example. And the guy was like, hey, this place is great. You guys all, know about? He's I'm from out of town. I'm from Wisconsin. We don't have this here. We don't, so I just came here. Looked like a cool place, so I stopped in. All right, cool, but we're getting a shitty experience.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're having a great fucking time.
You're having all the fucking time.
You're going to be here all night. We're trying to figure out where we're going to go next.
And the guy, we were clearly ready to leave, and this guy comes along, and all of a sudden, we're having fun. Oh, yeah, these are my friends here, this and that. And she was just like, you know them? Like, so I was like, okay, you clearly are the problem. I figured this out after a drink, and we were about to order a second round, and it was like a 2-for-1 time. It was like a happy hour. So it was 2-for-1s, but you couldn't share it. Like, we couldn't get I couldn't order 2-for-1 and give you
right, exactly. Yeah,
so you had to order your own 2-for-1. So here I'm sitting with my 2 fucking jugs of fucking Tito's and salsa, and Uncle's got his 2 Coronas, Cavassier and Corona, whatever he had, and we got 6 drinks amongst of us, and I'm like, okay, cool. This guy was fucking, give me this, give me this, give me this, give me this. And he was having the time of his life. He's like, this is a great place. I was like, no, it's not. 2 different experiences.
Same cunt.
Same cunt. He was from out of town, and I was like, what's so different about this? Obviously, she wanted to be nice to who she wanted to be nice to. I won't even go that far as to say he was a different shade or whatever else. But she wanted to be nice to who she wanted to be nice to, and that's just not a good service provider.
Now, go back to the thing you said before. If there's no tipping involved,
right?
Well, she's getting X amount of dollars regardless of that,
right?
I'm assuming there's tipping involved, and I'm assuming when it came time to drop your tip,
we made a decision.
You made a decision and said, "Hey, she's being very fucking cunty. Therefore, I would have dropped a 10, but you know what? Sure. It's going to be a 4. It's going to be $4.
It's going to be a
whatever
the change is, whatever the even this thing out. We're going to walk away.
You can keep this 18 cents. That's going to come out.
That's what you're going to get. So I couldn't help. This was a chicken and egg thing. This was which came first, and she has to be first. She clearly has to be
right. She has
to engage us and say, "Hi, how are you?" Because we literally walked to the front of the bar. There was no one else there, and we're sitting there going like this, looking up, and she's no eye contact, no, hey, what's up, guys? I'll be with you in 1 second.
Right.
None of the bar jargon that we're so accustomed to. So my only thought was, okay, she's either thinking, here, look at these fucking guys, they're coming in here, they never tip. She had a preconceived package of
what's going to happen.
Of what's going to happen. Right. So she already gave it no effort, no value, and nothing.
Right.
So, and we're like, damn, just the opposite. Like she has no idea, but okay, let's give it the benefit of the doubt. We parked the car already. We're here. We're not going to go too far away from this. That's a big fucking bee.
Well, it's bee time, isn't it?
Is it?
I guess it is.
There's no pollination over here.
Well, if the things are spewing out, then there's going to be bees around.
I guess they pollinate. So, it was just weird. Like she just offered that experience, and I'm always wondering, like, this is what ownership is okay with. Like, this is your spokesperson. This is your front person. Like, why? So I think in a even keel situation I was referring to was that you would get. I just now realized that would not have changed that scenario. Because if it was her,
it wouldn't. No, it might have made it worse.
It might have made it worse.
It
might have made it worse because she would have been like, what do you want? But I would prefer that if everyone got that. It's the fact that I saw
everyone got shitty service,
service, and it's like, wow, this is a shitty bar, but the prices are cheap, and you don't have to.
The prices are cheap, and everybody says, yeah, she's shitty, but you know what? Yeah. I'm not going to.
You come to this place for personality, not the right place,
not the right spot,
right.
Right,
but
same thing when we we go to fucking Rudy's. I mean, you don't go there for the bartender,
for the furniture, right? She's not hot. She's 90 years old.
Exactly. It's not.
Judy's like. I know
like she might get to you.
I know some people who have looked at that and had a few enough beers and back in the days, Judy might have been something.
You figure at one point she was. Figure at one point you gotta figure. She said she would do the podcast. I want to get her on the podcast because there's some fucking stories.
There's some stories.
There's got to be some stories. There's no way you've been behind that bar for as long as she's been behind that bar. She's got to have a ton of stories as to when say, yeah, well, I walked in here and fucking Bob De Niro was fucking this chick on the behind, and I said, hey, stop it, and he said, oh, don't worry about it, you're next. Some shit like that. Whatever. There's some shit. There's like a list of stories going on, which she has in her fucking head, and I want to get before she fucking croaks because she's probably on that death list. A friend of mine.
Ooh, she's on the death list.
A friend of mine. They got at this bar he goes to in Staten Island. Uh-huh. He said they have a death pool.
Oh God.
And
a real dead pool.
A dead pool, like of people who they think they're gonna croak. It's like you buy your boxes and stuff like that, and
Cassie,
you buy your boxes, and the name he drew was Barbara Bush.
Oh shit!
Barbara Bush a few weeks ago, passed away.
Yes.
And he said, "Hey, I really don't know how to feel about this."
Where's the pooch?
Probably behind there. That's where I heard her.
Cassie. Yeah. So Barbara Bush was on the dead pool.
Sorry. Yeah, so he said he won this pool with Barbara Bush dying, and he says he doesn't know how to feel because he's got like $1,500, but the result was Barbara Bush dying.
Oh my gosh! So that was part of the Deadpool?
Yes, she was part of the Deadpool.
Oh, my God.
Casi.
And it happened. So,
Yeah.
So he won.
So he won.
Oh, wow.
But he won, but did he really? He was like, I don't know how to, like, how do you go collect? Like, say, hey, I heard Barbara Bush died.
Oh, man.
Where's my
Cassie,
money?
you're on the podcast. Cassie, say hi. Theo was on one podcast, now you're on the other one. Cassie,
You like hanging outside, Cassie?
He loves outside. He loves outside, but since we put the fence, as we talked about before, he's like, I can't see shit, man. Like, just being outside ain't good enough for me.
Oh.
You okay now?
What you got going on the rest of the day?
Nothing actually. Just chilling out. I got a bunch of stuff to do. I got work to do in the shop, but I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
You're not gonna fuck with it.
No, it's too much. Too much going on, but yeah, Deadpool for Barbara Bush. Wow.
Yeah, and the dude, like, he's like, yeah, I won, but like, like he was worried about like going over to collect to say, hey, I heard Barbara Bush died.
He had to be worried about being in it, like.
Well, that's what I said.
Right.
I said, well, look, you dropped your money on the damn thing,
you
so
went into this thing
you
knowing
went into it.
somebody was gonna give the final ceremony, but that seems to be the reoccurring story. I think we're gonna see a bunch more. Right, we got a bunch of ailing older people.
Yeah, I mean, it's listen, we're always.
What, Kerry's next?
Who?
John Kerry.
Is he?
Yeah, he's like bad.
Well, I don't know what his health condition is. I mean, I would think somebody like
super brain cancer or something like that. He's like really bad.
Well, I know Jimmy Carter's relatively old.
Yeah,
I think George Bush.
Yeah, he did a flop and fall down, and
he's on that way. But hey, it's part of life.
It is part of life. It is part of life. Death is a part of life. And speaking of such, have you seen Infinity War yet?
I did.
You did?
I saw it.
What'd you think?
I liked it. Liked it very, very much. It was one of those. I understand that it could be like too much.
Yeah.
And I don't. Okay. But here's a big criticism I have. That y'all seen Infinity War, so I'm
no spoiler alert. Now it's been out so long.
I'm curious as to what they're going to do about Thanos' motivation, because if I am corrected, and this is when we got to talk to our man Kev, because he knows all the stories.
Yeah.
Thanos is infatuated with death, and death is an actual Marvel character, female Marvel character. And he's doing all of this, like destroying all of these planets, because he's trying to impress death.
But he's impressed with balance, though. He seems more with the balance.
That's what the movie says.
Yeah.
But in the comic book story, he's trying to impress death.
Okay.
He's trying to impress this cat. It has nothing to do with the balance of the universe and things like that.
Okay.
So that's the only misgiving I have about Infinity War. And I'm just curious, of all these people who are now dead, are we going to see them again? Or does this just mean we're just going to usher in a whole bunch of other people who we didn't see?
I doubt that. I think the people have come to love them too far. They clearly see the milk money machine.
Well, I mean, but in the Infinity War story, I mean, look, there's going to be another 3 or 4 Black Panther movies, and there's a couple other characters that are gone.
What is Guardian of the Galaxy 3?
Guardian of the Galaxy 3, right?
Which is all about Gamora. It goes. See, Spielberg, and I'm sorry, George Lucas invented the prequel. He literally just said, okay, guess what, guys? We can go back. We can tell the story before the story.
Yeah.
Hence the Han Solo movie coming out.
It looks like it sucks, if you ask me.
It does look
I'm curious.
It does look very Disney-ish. It does look very, and I'm curious as well. But I'm gonna see it regardless because I do want to know that story between Solo and Lando.
Lando Calrissian.
Yes, who Donald Glover is killing it right now.
Him and Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah,
their payroll has dramatically increased over the last 2 years.
But what do you think of This Is America?
Those checks have gotten huge.
I saw
bits. I'm like,
see it?
I did see it.
Huh.
Well, first of all, I don't like it.
Okay.
So just from a aesthetic point of view, I'm not. I don't like
audio. Do you like the song?
I don't like the song.
Okay, all right. That's
I don't like the song.
thing.
So I'm not. So I was like,
the video doesn't make.
I was watching it because
Everyone's
of the attention that it got
Sure.
and whatnot. And so I'm watching it, and I'm not a big fan of it. But then I don't understand what the like is this like are we? Does it have the attention because we're in this age in which the moment you do something that's a little controversial, there's like 1,000 responses to it on Twitter and all that other shit like that. You know, because I've seen weirder stuff.
Okay.
You know,
that makes sense.
I've seen more controversial things before, and the attention not given to it as such. You know, so I don't understand why we're sitting on why this is and maybe my standard for what is controversial is different than most people, and which is possible. But, you know, but number one, I was not a fan of the song.
Right. Okay.
So that's right. But that's just me. I'm not.
That's cool. For me, it was definitely a oh shit jaw dropping and a oh wow shock value.
Definitely provocative, right. and he definitely had a point of view.
Right, for sure.
Which I think there's a lot of credit for. He definitely had a point of view when he's doing this.
In the scheme of music in today's genre, I dig the song.
Okay.
Because I like the beat. I like the the kid who he co-directed this Cody guy, whatever his name is. I mean,
was he one of the nerd dudes? Was he one of the NERD guys?
This is I don't know if he's NERD, but he's the guy that scored the entire Black Panther.
Okay,
with Ryan Coogler.
Okay, all right.
I mean, this kid is a genius. He's young. He went to Africa and was like, found
incorporating all these.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is the real deal. He's been working with Ryan Coogler for years.
Okay, all right.
Did Fruitvale Station, did a bunch of stuff, and
yeah, okay.
He's a big film guy, but he's more of a he's very unorthodox producer. He's Swedish, first of all. He's a Swedish kid. And he fell in love with he came for, music institution to learn,
right.
And didn't know shit about hip hop in real time. He knew hip hop only and
from a historical point of view,
from what he heard. I mean,
right.
from internet and whatever else, and he doesn't know the Public Enemy story. He doesn't know any of that. He's a young guy, so. And this is also the guy that did Redbone. I mean, this is the same guy that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like he programmed all that shit with that drum and all that bass. So musically, I really thought it was, it had all the grit. It had nuts and bolts.
Okay.
It had a lot of nuts and bolts in it that today's music has, that I think doesn't. And then it had some message to it. Whether the delivery of it, the conduit he used, which was visual, worked. Now the fanfare of what you said is true. You see 100 people breaking it down. They're like, "Oh, those are Confederate soldier pants."
Yeah.
There's that.
I'm like, why are we like what?
Because we can. I mean, I think people have just taken the notion of saying, "I got nothing else to do, and why don't I clout chase this? Why don't I, gender bend it, and why don't I just talk about it?" Because
one of the things that I've noticed is that there hasn't, at least from the comments I've seen and from the few times I've paid attention, like one of the last things people will say is if they think it's a good song or not.
True.
Like it had nothing to do. So.
True.
I mean, the first thing, like, if I hear a song and listen to it, I'm asking myself, okay, well, do I like this? Will I listen to it again?
Well, that's what I said.
Hey, is this something I'm going to download? Is it going to be on a playlist? I
immediately downloaded it.
So that's the first thing that I go through. I mean, do I like it?
Right.
Does it appeal to my ear?
It's a total driving song. I mean, it's a driving song. It's don't let me use that bit.
That's what I mean. Like people,
for me, it does that.
Right. People bring that to it. And so when I'm hearing and when I'm seeing all these comments about it, I'm saying, well, I come away and I'm asking, well, did you like the fucking song?
Right. Me included.
Did you like it?
This Tekashi kid, the Tekashi 6ix9ine, who's somehow 15 minutes is dying. Like it's it's fading his way because more things are coming about. But his records are like that too. They give you that
right.
They give you that mean mugging fucking traffic beep. Get the fuck out the way, mother. This is America. It has that drive to it that gives you, liquid courage. It gives you a little bit.
Okay. All right.
It pumps you up. It gets you amped. And whether if it's you going to the gym or you running or you have something else. So I do like something that can thought provoke you.
Yes.
And can stimulate you. I mean, I do make no mistake. This is the stimulation business. This media thing is.
Yes, it is. Yes,
it's
it
like,
is.
come on, stimulate me.
Because I only got you for like 3 minutes.
So if you're gonna
at
be
best, before you move on to the next thing.
Fuck it up. I do this. I fuck you, shoot you in the face. That shit is corny, man.
Yes.
Like that whatever talk they call it is bag talk and all this other bottles and all that stuff. I mean, for the birds. That's for birds. Those are for it's just like it has no place. It's this trap shit, and I'm thankful for T.I. for getting involved with, or he's had a couple of interviews or whatever else. And he kind of said the right thing. He said, listen, man, I invented trap music because it was the name of my album. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't deny that. Like, this unprinted. I printed this album, and if you can go before that and find somebody that was talking about it before me, then we can have a conversation. But don't talk to me about something that happened.
Right.
This is history. Like, you could look it up. It's verifiable.
Right.
So stop asking me, how do I feel about people who came? He said, everything that came after that is what it is. It's, you asking me, I did my thing. I just happened to do it first. I did not know how active T.I. and a couple of other people were in the community and what they were proposing as far as registering voters, organizing, and doing a little bit more philanthropic work that is allowing people to have of using their platform in the right way. Even where he said, "Hey, I met with Kanye," and it was like, "Dude, you know what the fuck you saying? Like this ain't." And so, have you heard that song? Have you heard the Kanye T.I. song?
No.
Okay, that song.
You keep talking. I'm gonna walk away.
Kind of speaks to the whole Kanye episode of
before.
It happened. The song came after the episode. Okay. So they were literally having the. Kanye had did his recordings, his rants, his TMZ interviews and stuff, and it lent itself to him, T.I. then going to visit him and saying, "Bro, like, what's going on? Like, what are we doing here?" So I say this to say that he then goes into this, well, shit, you got some shit on your mind. You need to, talk about it, speak about it, and they wound up doing a song together. So in doing that song, he was like, "Bro, I disagree. People looking at you, people are saying this, take that hat off, motherfucker. Like, that hat represents a lot of oppression. It represents a lot of things. So for you to wear it and say what you said about the slavery thing, about the, all these other things that he's alluded to. Right. He's like, yo, are you awake? Are you really the get out guy? Like, are you really in the sunken place? And so the song, Kanye, he didn't even know Kanye was going to release it. He was kind of they were doing a little back and forth with this, if you listen to it, it's very spoken. It's almost a spoken word record. Okay. It's like, yo, do you know that the people are looking at you and seeing you do this? And when you say this, do they feel this? Yeah, but I do this to say this. He's rebutting. It's a nice piece. It is a nice piece from Kanye, and it doesn't solve it. It just... If you're a hip-hop guy and you look at it, you go, I see where he's coming from. I see his genius and his craziness, you know what I'm saying? But just not feeling it right now. You know what I mean? Like, just not today. Like, I'm not in the mood for it. Like, you're not going to find a lot of people to army with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you won't get people to rally with that. Like, he's speaking from a privileged position. Like, he don't know what it's like to... be hungry anymore and to, food stamps and all stuff. Right. Like, his biggest thing is, I lost my mother. My mother died. Like, well, it's happening every day. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. It's happening every day to some people. So they're not sympathetic with you for losing your mother, and you've had, some people call that the ritual, right? They call that hey, you had to give something up to get where you are, whatever, the Baphomet sacrifice and more papal shit, But definitely interesting. Definitely, I like the consciousness coming from it. I wish the likes of the Talib Kweli's and the the real people who speak on those issues that have been a little bit more, who've always done it. I wish it circled back to them where they getting the light again. With all this consciousness talk about.
It's interesting because it seems like, well, I mean, number one, they don't have the platform that the other guys have. No. But at the same time, I think when you talk about like the Talib Kwalis of the world, they seem to be satisfied with putting it in their music. Like, this is where it is.
Yes.
This is my opinion and this is my voice, and that's where I'm going to put it.
Right.
Now, I'm still going to conduct myself as a human being who, believes in XYZ and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And I don't need to go anything beyond that to express that because it's in my music.
Right.
And the depth of it is in my music. And the point counterpoint is in my music. Mm-hmm. That's where it is. That's where I'm going to put it. That's where I'm going to put my energy. That's where I'm going to put my attention.
Okay.
That's where I'm going to put my thought. So I don't need to have another platform to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. I got to finish this one.
Okay.
So I
get it.
I think there are guys who are satisfied with the fact that, hey, I'm putting it in my music and that's where it is. And if you want to know what I think, well, you know what? Buy the album, listen to the song, and then you'll get what I'm saying. I'm not going to go outside of myself to sort of, because I think it seems that they feel, and I don't want to speak for them, but then
who's the they in this conversation?
They would be like
the artist.
The artist.
Okay.
That kind of cheapens it.
Yes.
It kind of
manufactured.
It kind of cheapens the art. Exactly.
Yeah,
it kind of cheapens the art.
I only made this record because y'all asked for it. Like,
because anytime somebody makes a statement in a record, they seem to also make the counter statement in another song or another record.
True. I would agree to that.
And they kind of treat their thing as a piece of art, and you got to see the whole thing. You got to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to do that, well, I'm not going to give you a 20-minute interview,
right?
To give you all.
I see what you're saying.
If you're not willing to partake of me as who I am as an artist, that puts together this thing. Well, then how is sitting down with you and explaining something to you? How is that going to solve anything?
I get it.
Listen to me as where I am. If a visual artist was a painter wanted to express themselves, they're going to put it in their work.
Yeah.
They're going to put it in their work.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
And if you don't get it, okay, fine, you don't get it. Right, you don't have to get it, but that's where it is.
Yeah, but true, except for when the artist says, "You don't get this." Like, I'm painting here. Right. Kanye is screaming, "I'm painting."
Right.
You don't see this fucking joint. You guys are crazy. I'm taking crazy pills.
Right. Yes.
This is that's the only difference with him, and he's the exception, not the rule.
Yes.
He's the exception, not the rule.
Right.
And he's screamed at high volumes to no end of like, he does the Mugatu. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. Everyone else doesn't see what I'm doing here.
He's like the great person who doesn't understand why everybody else is great. He's kind of like when Michael Jordan, like, all of a sudden started running his own basketball team, doesn't understand why this other dude isn't doing what Michael Jordan did.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's one Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Well, what's the
so
big
to
deal?
speak?
Like, what's the big, right. You don't know you guys.
You don't see on the right. Exactly. All of you guys. Well, no, we don't see it the way that you see it. So. Yeah, so when you say, well, but you don't see what I'm saying? Oh my God, I can't believe it. Blah, blah,
I thought everyone was rich. I
thought
everybody
had these issues.
Right. I
thought everybody had these issues, or which is probably even a worse scenario, is that you thought that my plight
was the same,
was as valid as was valid enough for you to sort of like adjust how you think about things.
Yeah. No, I get it, and I strongly believe that, after listening to his interview, and I hate to just keep diverting back to him again and making him relevant again for no reason, but his thought process is scary to me and dangerous in the fact that it's like what he believes to be, almost godlike.
A deity, yeah.
Deity.
He said that a couple times.
He puts these fashion guys in the God frame, like, very much, to the point of he speaks of them like, from Versace to Dundee to got whatever these people are that normal people don't know, right? And the average person that buys your stuff doesn't know, that this was a Louis Vuitton when so and so was the designer. They don't know the backstory. Right. The person that was at the when Virgil or whoever the fucking people he talks about in the thing. Like most average paying customers, they kind of only do it from a visual standpoint. They're looking at it like, hey, this is something that I like because I saw him wear it and he freaked it and it looked crazy and I could think I could wear it and okay, it's gonna be $400, $500 for a sweater. I'm gonna one day get my weight up because I want that, cachet. Right. But we don't see the deity in it. We don't see the, and to us it's false god, right? The average person says, right, I'm not bowing to the guy. Like if he makes it seem like if Gianni Versace came down, and descended, from a place out of the ground, this guy would go, oh, I knew you'd come home, like what people have been waiting for Jesus.
And 9.9 out of 10 of us would go, hey, get the fuck out the way. Dude.
Yeah, who's this guy?
Yeah, exactly. Who's this guy? I got to cook for the kids. My kids are hungry.
Andrew Cunanan whacked this guy out like, he was a shlomo. Fruit salads, as they call them.
Ooh, fruit salad.
Yeah, fruit salads. But to each his own. We have hit the 2-hour mark for some reason. 2 hours, 8 beers.
8 beers, 2 pisses in the corner, a crazy dog.
Crazy dog
in the corner.
He's scratching his back and he's looking like, what the fuck you talking about? What'd you say to me?
Yes, you.
Yeah, you, Casper. Casper, shake it something. Say something to everybody. Say, arr. Anyway, we had a great time outside. The great outdoors.
The great outdoors. Good to get back to you.
that the weather is back outside. We love being outside. It is so hot in the house. But how do you prepare? How do you do anything? You can't. You turn the heat on. I had heat on this morning. I mean, it was on.
Yeah.
And then this afternoon it was like, huh? What? So it's definitely been weird.
Cassie said something.
Sneezing, allergies. So, Two Bros Podcast episode 31 is a wrap. Thanks to our sponsor, Tecate, the original. I actually never had this beer. Never had
Tecate?
Never had it, so it was pretty good. And
it's a classic
jalapeno
cheap beer because they didn't have Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, I wanted some PBR, but this will do. It did the job.
Easy cans for recycling.
Easy cans for recycling. Easy to look at. But we hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us. We had a great time. We hope you did too. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and share. Either or. You can hit us up on Mixcloud, SoundCloud,
Mixcloud.
And what's this thing? We're entering something. We're going into.
Right. We're entering this this contest, to be the next great podcast host.
Who's the next great podcast?
So we're entering this contest. So
why wouldn't it be us? Why not? Why wouldn't it be? We're the coolest motherfuckers on the planet.
Why not?
We have a good time.
You get 2.
You get 2 for 1.
You get 2. Actually, if we do get 2, we got to make sure that they compensate us appropriately.
It's like 2 for 1 drinks. So
you say, well, but still, we each got families. We got to make sure that this is right.
This is indeed. Hey, Two Bros Podcast signing out. We love you guys.
Love you too.
Thanks for joining us. We're out of this one.
Oh, fist pump.
Boom.
Got it.